If you were the only person on the planet, people pleasing would literally not exist. And as a former people pleaser myself, I can tell you that it has been such a journey over the past few years. But if you are someone who's like, I don't want to be a people pleaser anymore, I want to stop, I just don't know how, then this is definitely the video for you. And if you are new here, welcome. And if you're returning back, welcome back, boo. I'm so happy to see you. Welcome to Manifest with Lindsay, where I teach you how to manifest more of what you want and less of what you do not. And I know you do not want to be out here people pleasing, so make sure you hit that subscribe button for more videos like this. As far as people pleasing, what is the cause of that? A lot of times it comes from our past, whether it was fear of rejection or fear of judgment, fear of failure. 100% of the time it is from our past. When I was able to see the root of where my people pleasing actually came from, I just wanted to make my mom happy. When I was younger, or I got yelled at, or if she wasn't happy with something that I did, I was like, oh, I've got to really be careful and walk on eggshells. And maybe you grew up in a similar situation where your parents relied on you to do certain things and you had to step up. And a lot of times, a lot of those things stick with us and how we carry ourselves. I remember I carried that with me when I worked my 9 to 5 back in the day. I remember getting my very first corporate job after college and graduating from Pace University. Pace setters, woo woo, shout out to them. But after I had graduated, I was like, wow, this is my first official legit job where I go into work every day, work my 9 to 5 in New York City. I was on the content team and I realized that I started overworking myself. I would stay late. I was the last one to leave and I was the first one to arrive. And that was all because of my root, which was people pleasing. I had no boundaries. So when you look at yourself as a people pleaser, you have to set boundaries. Think about an airport, right? And there's a book I want to show you, by the way, because I didn't make this up. Former client of mine and a very good friend of mine, Winnie Griffin, wrote this book, When You Can't Do It Anymore, How to Become Less of a People Pleaser and More of Who You Were Meant to Be. And what I can tell you is this book is a game changer and very life-changing. So one of the things I wanted to reference from that book, she mentions that when you go to a municipal building or if you go to the airport, they have boundaries. They tell you have to take off your belt. They don't care if you don't like it. They don't care if you get mad and you suck your teeth and say, well, I'm not doing that. Well, guess what? You're not going on the flight. But that's their boundaries. They ask you to take off your belt for security reasons, for safety measures. So when you set boundaries, think of yourself as the airport. Before that plane takes off, they need to make sure that certain fluids are not on the plane. They need to make sure that everyone is safe and everyone is taken care of. And it's the same for you. You need to make sure that you are safe, that you are taken care of, that you are your number one priority. That's real self-love right there. So learning to say no and create those boundaries, whether it's with family members, friends, and it's okay to love your family and want to do things for them. It's okay to love your friends. It's okay to love people around you. But when people get too close or too comfortable, you need to be able to set boundaries, whether it's in a relationship with your romantic partner, someone you just met, whether it's with a coworker, whether it's with an entrepreneur friend of yours. If you're going on vacation and you're like, hey, I'm not responding to my text messages, your boss will have to get over it. And the more that you stand up to people and you set boundaries with them, they will respect you for it. I'll give you examples of when I did that in real life. He was probably my third boss. I want to say my third or fourth boss. He was speaking to me in a tone that I did not like. He was yelling at me, and apparently he yelled at everyone at the job. It wasn't just me. Anger management issues, okay? And it was this British guy, I'm not going to say his name. He was yelling at me one time because he got upset about something, and I said, "Are you Rochelle?" I asked him this, and that's my mom's name. And he goes, "What?" I said, "I asked you, are you Rochelle?" And he said, "No." And I said, okay, good, because that's my mom's name and she's the only one who's allowed to yell at me. I mean, you would think, oh, she got fired. No, I never got fired. I said, I need you to woosah, okay? And he started to laugh. I said, we are on the same team. If you need me to help do something, you need to speak to me in a respectful tone and we will handle it together because we're a team and I got your back and I want you to make sure you have mine. And guess what? He never yelled at me again. Everyone at the job said to me, why doesn't he yell at you? He always yells at us. Because they didn't set any boundaries with that man. The first time he did it, I addressed it. If someone does something, whether it's your romantic partner, might have rubbed you the wrong way, address it. A lot of times we hold things in or we don't speak up for ourselves. Address it, whether it's the same day or the next day. Do not harbor it and not tell people how you really feel. Life is too freaking short to be holding in feelings and emotions that you have and not expressing those. So learn to speak up for yourself, advocate for yourself. Number 2, your boundaries need to be stated, not just people that you work with. If you're like, hey, I'm taking my hour lunch break. Oh, can you do this real quickly for me after my lunch break is over? Set the boundary. Absolutely, I would love to help you with that after my lunch break is over. That's an example in the workplace. But let's take it outside of work because I own my own business now. Nobody tells me what to do, right? However, when it comes to friendships, or holidays. I had to learn that I'm not somebody who loves really celebrating holidays, and that's just not my thing. That's nice. I love that people love doing that. I love celebrating the holidays my way. So for example, watching some movies at home or just spending time with my man, that's fun for me. But going out to travel when it's cold outside in the winter time and buying a bunch of gifts for people and doing a bunch of things. I mean, I know people who have so much credit card debt during the holidays because they try to overextend themselves to give people a bunch of things. Do you know what I do for the holidays? I started a new tradition. I started writing letters that are thoughtful and meaningful and that pour life into the people in my family, my immediate family, my mom, my 2 sisters. That's what I do. I mail them letters. I mail cards to people. Now, if I want to send a gift, I will send a gift. That's fine. But I don't feel obligated to do it because it's a holiday. So I set my boundary. I don't have to show up on Thanksgiving if I don't want to. I don't have to show up for so-and-so's birthday if I'm uncomfortable with another individual who they are friends with. I can support people from a distance. Set your boundaries. But the key to not people pleasing is understanding where that fear is coming from. Worst case scenario, you stand up for yourself, your mom gets mad at you, she doesn't want to speak to you ever again. Is that a bad thing? Isn't that less drama? Isn't that less chaos? Isn't that more peace? Remember to protect your peace and think about the future version of you. Will future version of me have more peace if I say yes? Or will I be more stressed if I say yes? And by the way, you are allowed to change your mind. If you tell someone, hey, yes, I want to be there. And then the next day, a client had booked you and you say, hey, unfortunately, I'm not going to make it. I have a client meeting. Or unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to make it, period. That's okay. That is enough. You don't have to over-explain yourself. You don't have to overextend yourself. If you are afraid of that person's response, this is something I do. Sit with your fear. Have tea with your fear. Stop taking fear and making it your enemy. Make fear your friend and say, okay, so what's up? Let's have a little tea together and find out what's really going on. Are you afraid that that person will never speak to you again? Worst case scenario is a game I love to play. Okay, what if they don't respect my boundary? How will I respond then? Well, I will have to keep my distance for a few months and see if they will respect my boundaries moving forward, or I might have to cut them off for a whole year. I will have to manage my emotions and figure it out, right? Just like I figure everything else out in my life. You are a lot more capable and stronger than you even realize. Remember, I'm capable, I'm strong, I have boundaries, I respect myself, I love myself, and a part of loving myself is having boundaries and making sure that I express and share those boundaries to family members, friends, people I'm in a relationship with. It doesn't matter who it is, set the boundaries, make it very clear. And remember, compatibility is everything. Everyone is not for you. The more that you get this through your mind, that everyone has their own beliefs, lifestyle choices, their own worldview based on their own experiences of how they see the world, that is not going to be the same as you, as your story, your journey, your experiences. So everyone is not compatible with you, and it is okay if people misunderstand you, gossip about you, talk badly behind your back. You do not have to defend yourself. Let them feel how they need to feel, and you continue to move forward the way you need to. Because at the end of the day, it's about you protecting your peace and energy. And block who you need to block. That block button is there for a reason. Oftentimes we think about only the negative what ifs of what could happen. My therapist actually taught me this, but you need to also list the positive what ifs of what can happen when you set boundaries. Think about how much better you'll feel. What would you do now that you're free of other people's opinions and perspectives? Who are you now? If you were the only person on this planet who existed, what would you really want? What would you love to do? If no one's opinion mattered and no one got mad at you or said this is wrong or this is not right, what would you really do and how would you move? So move accordingly. Move like that version of yourself. All right, so sending you lots of love, and I'll see you in the next video. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you next time. Peace. Oh yeah. You don't have to, oh, excuse me. I knew I felt a burp coming on. I was like, excuse me. I want you to also sit with that fear.
You don't have to overextend yourself.
You don't have to overextend yourself. You don't have to over-explain yourself, whether it is with you plan on collaborating with. I'm just trying to see if there's anything. Oh yeah,